This is CNN Breaking News.
Hello and welcome to our viewers here in the United States and around the world. I'm Natalie Allen, live from CNN World Headquarters in Atlanta. And we begin this hour with the breaking news from the Korean Peninsula, where South Korea now says North Korea has blown up the Inter-Korean Liaison office in the Kaesong Industrial Zone in North Korea. CNN's Christy Lou Stout joins me now live from Hong Kong to tell us what we know about this developing story. Hello, Christy.
Natalie, it appears that North Korea has carried out what it has threatened to do. According to South Korea's Ministry of Unification, North Korea has blown up the Inter-Korean Liaison office in Kaesong, North Korea. The incident, it took place about 2:49 p.m. local time. We have also learned, according to the Unification Ministry in South Korea, that there were no South Korean employees inside the building at the time of this incident. We also learned that this building had been closed down since late January due to the coronavirus. Now, the Inter-Korean Liaison Office, it was set up in 2018 as a result of that historic landmark meeting, the Inter-Korean Summit between North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in. It had provided a valuable communication channel between the North and South. North Korea had threatened to shut it down. And in the last hour and a half, we have learned, again, according to the Unification Ministry of South Korea, that it has been blown up by the North Koreans. And this comes during a time of rising tension between North and South Korea over the actions of North Korean defectors. And we had that warning over the weekend from the sister of Kim Jong-un, who called South Korea the enemy. She also pledged that decisively next action would be taken. At the time when she made that warning, she didn't specify what that action could be. It turns out that action was not just shut down the liaison office, but to destroy it. Again, according to the Ministry of Unification, that's what they're telling us, that this building in Kaesong, North Korea, has been blown up by the North Koreans. Now, South Korea, they had taken legal action against the actions of North Korean defectors inside their own country. The North Korean defectors, this is what they've been doing. They have been using balloons to send anti-North Korean leaflets and propaganda and SD cards across the border into North Korea, much to the chagrin of the leadership in North Korea. They'd also been using bottles to send over food and rice by sea. But despite the legal action taken by South Korea, North Korea is and has remained furious. It has already cut all inter-Korean channels of communication. It threatened to shut down the Inter-Korean Liaison Office. That Inter-Korean Liaison Office, we're now reporting, according to the Ministry of Unification, once again, has been destroyed, blown up by the North Koreans. And all this coming during a time of a very significant anniversary. It was 20 years ago this week when the first Inter-Korean Summit took place. They pledged dialogue, and 20 years have this situation of rising tension between North and South, North Korea not picking up the phone calls from the South, no inter-Korean communication lines established at all, and now the destruction of the Inter-Korean Liaison Office in Kaesong, North Korea. Natalie.
Well, yes, this takes the rising tension to a whole new level, doesn't it? Christy Lou Stout for us there, monitoring this story in Hong Kong. Christy, thank you.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Welcome back to our viewers here in the United States and around the world. I'm Natalie Allen, and we return to the breaking news out of the Korean Peninsula. South Korea says North Korea has blown up the Inter-Korean Liaison Office in the Kaesong Industrial Zone in North Korea. And North Korean state media published an article today stating, quote, "Our intensive retaliatory campaign has started." North Korea's military has been threatening to re-militarize the border area that was disarmed in the Inter-Korean Pact. Pyongyang claimed defector groups in South Korea were sending propaganda leaflets into the country. Joining me now via Skype from Seoul to talk about this story is Do-yeon Kim, Senior Advisor, Northeast Asia and Nuclear Policy International Crisis Group. Thanks for coming on. We want to kind of dig into this and see what's going on. I want to get your reaction to North Korea doing this.
Well, thanks for having me back, Natalie. First, I think they have tactfully and carefully chosen to blow up the Inter-Korean Liaison Office because it was a symbolic facility agreed upon between the two Korean leaders. It's also in North Korean territory, not in South Korean territory, but it was built using South Korean taxpayer money. But that basically means that it's not a direct attack on South Korea. And so in that sense, they've tactfully chosen this so that it would not invite a South Korean military response.
Yeah, and this comes at a time of rising tension. How did relations between South Korea and North Korea after their historic 2018 summit deteriorate so quickly?
Well, there's a lot going on there, but basically, if we put it into today's context, North Korea is upset that the South, according to North Korea, has not lived up to its commitments agreed upon between the two Korean leaders during their summits. And so they're citing the leaflets, South Korean leaflets being flown over to the North by balloons, propaganda leaflets, anti-Kim Jong-un regime leaflets talking about democracy in the outside world. They're calling this, basically a direct threat or an offense to the North Korean leaders' so-called dignity. And so they're basically telling South Korea to stop all hostile acts on land, air, and sea as agreed upon between the two Koreas. But they're also upset that South Korea has not lived up to its expectations, that it basically told the North the U.S. would be willing to lift some sanctions in exchange for the Yongbyon nuclear complex, and that has not happened since the Hanoi summit, and that's actually the reason why the Hanoi summit collapsed between Trump and Kim. So basically, Pyongyang is coercing Seoul to live up to its commitments, to try to move Washington to lift sanctions eventually.
All right, we'll see what happens next as a result of this action by the North. Do-yeon Kim, thank you so much for joining us and for your expertise on this.
Thank you.